Well, good evening, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola, another one of our coffee club moments here. And folks, this is what I always say. This is not a prop. This is real coffee, and everybody partaking in some kind of beverage. I'm not going to ask what it is. You never know, right? You know, first of all, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight, all of you. And I think we can all agree that these days, the internet is a little too serious, a little too crazy, but I think we're going to break that trend tonight, as I think this is going to be the most fun we have probably all had in about who knows how long. But this is going to be a fun night. So these are folks from the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, but actually specifically the Osceola County Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. So that represents the Osceola County Lodge, correct, everybody?
Correct.
Awesome. Yep. Well, let me introduce everybody. It kind of looks like the Brady Bunch, and everything's kind of backwards. So I'm going to see if you notice everything's backwards on your point. So tonight, what I see as my right is Maria Rosa and Franca. How are you ladies doing?
Very good.
Thanks for being here. Nice. And just like in the real Brady Bunch, there is a Peter, and he is below me tonight. How you doing, Peter?
I'm good. Sono un po' stanco.
There you go. And last but absolutely no doubt not the least, Carolyn Cianciata. How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you, Keith. Thank you.
It's all good. It's all good. So I feel like I've got all my best friends here tonight already.
Because we got food.
Well, we had fun before we even started. I think maybe we should have hit the live button earlier because we were having such a good time.
We were. So
I'm gonna, out of familiarity, I'm gonna lean over to you, Carolyn. If you would kind of tell us, for those people who may not know, well, let me lead it this way. I kind of said there were so many things going on that are just so darn serious right now, whether that be discussions of COVID-19 or the campaigns or all this stuff that's going on. We're talking about an organization that's been around for a long time, but has held on to its heritage, held on to its importance and its impact in the communities that you serve and that you're a part of. So Carolyn, why don't you go give us for those people who don't know of your organization, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sons and Daughters of Italy and what you do?
Okay. Well, the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America has been in existence for 115 years now. Osceola County is 36 years old this year with our order. And we are a fraternal organization that raises money for charities. And most of the charities that we do are the Help Now. We try to do local ones, Help Now, Alzheimer's, autism, and of course, Osceola County Senior Scholarships. So those are our main ones. We have, in the past few weeks, brought Gatorade to the volunteers that are doing the COVID testing over by Heritage Square. We brought desserts and cookies to the assisted living on Neptune Road. And these are some of the things that we do. We like to meet together when we can. Of course, we haven't had an in-person meeting for a few months since February now, but we are Zoom meeting once a month with each other. We do enjoy going out to local restaurants, but mostly, like I said, we're a fraternal organization. We raise money for charity, strictly to give away.
Well said. Now you referenced, we're in Florida, so we're very hot, of course, and the long lines for people who are COVID testing, and then those volunteers and staff members from the Florida Department of Health in Osceola County are out there at Osceola Heritage Park on the asphalt.
Right.
So being very thoughtful, you guys did go out there. I think I've got a few photos. Let me share one right now if I'm right.
Yes, we went out 3 different times. It was wonderful. There we are.
Cool. I think I've got another. Let me rifle through and see if I can find it real quick. And there will be this. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I mean, there are some great organizations in our county for sure, and you are one of them. I haven't seen anybody else do that, but that's a pretty caring move right there. So, and I think we forget we forget that it's so hot, and it's day in, day out. Certainly since the pandemic's been so part of what we're doing every day. So thanks for doing that. So what else have you? So why don't you explain? So what does it look like when you were physically and face to face being able to meet? Tell us what that would be more than what you're seeing today.
When we physically can meet at our own local lodge. Well, of course, we have our little business that we have to conduct, what we've done and what fundraisers we're going to do. And then, of course, we have food. Lots of food.
Lots of food.
So one of the main things that we do is we do have what we call a St. Joseph's Feast in March. We had to miss it this year. But every member brings a covered dish, every member. So it's got to be a traditional Italian dish. Franca makes most of the pastries, and Maria Rosa and her mom make the breads. So it's a traditional meatless Italian dish. And if you don't think we have a lot of meatless dishes, you can't believe how many. And and then we invite everybody. Everybody brings their friends. We usually have close to 100 people coming that night, and we just have a wonderful, wonderful time. So that's one of the things we do with our group when we're meeting in a meeting. And we meet over on 17th Street at the community center.
Awesome.
Of course, they're closed now, but that's where we meet the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. So it's wonderful. We have a great time together.
Well, why don't you introduce those nice ladies above you, and then you can introduce Peter as well, and then they can tell us a little bit about themselves as well, if you'd like.
Okay, and the reason why we decided to come on tonight as our little group is we want to show you that this is a generational thing. Of course, 115 years, there's been quite a few generations, and that's why it's in existence for so long. So above me is Maria Rosa and her mom, Franca. Maria Rosa is our financial secretary in our lodge. She's the money lady, gets all the money. She distributes it out too, but she gets it all. And Franca is what we call one of our trustees. She makes sure that the financial people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everybody has a job.
That's right.
To my left, so I don't know where he is on the camera, but that is my son-in-law, Peter. My daughter would prefer not to be on, so Peter, out of the kindness of his heart, came on tonight. And Peter's been a member, I would say, about 10 years. And even though he lives in New York, he is a member of the Osceola County Lodge. But he can go to the meetings in New York when he chooses to, but he is a member of our lodge.
Well, Peter, can I ask you? So, what does I'm sorry. So, what does this organization mean to you? I mean, and tell me, when you think of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, what do you think of, and what does it mean to you?
Well, for me, it means something a little bit different, and it's about the heritage, right? So, I'm not Italian American by birth, only by marriage. And so for me to connect with my wife's family, and even now, more importantly, to connect our daughter to her family's heritage is super important. So I'm an Italianophile and always have been, from the art history to the culture to the food, obviously, to the language. We had our honeymoon in Venice. It's wonderful to be able to connect with that in a more meaningful way. Right. But in particular, it's such a big part. It's the most important part of our daughter's heritage. So this is a way we can connect to it. And for us, the meetings are a part of it, and the sort of networking and connection and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of social events that are a huge part of it, right? So it's a way to connect with a community that, once upon a time, like when you grew up, you grew up in an Italian neighborhood. Dad grew up in an Italian neighborhood. I have a friend who here in New York, who grew up in Bensonhurst. There's still a thriving Italian neighborhood there, but there aren't so many of those anymore. So for people who grew up in those kind of neighborhoods, you had an experience of being Italian American that was like part of breathing, right? But that doesn't happen for so many people anymore. So for us, the Sons of Italy is a way to connect and plug in to feel like part of an Italian neighborhood, even though it's once a month plus a social event or plus the network we make. So it's a way to plug into that and the culture and the connections like that. It's terrific.
Yeah, that's an interesting part of America, isn't it? That we're such a blended culture, and we continue to be that way. But it's still so important as we continue to blend. It's still so important to remember maybe our individuality as a piece of the overall. It's important to maintain, and remember and teach our next generations what we've known, what we may have grown up with. And I think that's what we're talking about today, having a multi-generational organization. And what hit me, Carolyn, when you were talking about how, as an organization in Osceola County, you went to, again, the Florida Department of Health's COVID testing. I think organizations that endure time, organizations that continue to grow and continue to evolve, are organizations that, at the end of the day, also turn around and give back and serve. And I see that as a common denominator between organizations that might be in a diminishing sense, but in your organization, you see it still growing. I think that's because you're still continuing to serve. So Maria, Rosa, and Franca, let's turn this to you and ask, so what does this organization mean to you?
It keeps us together. It gives us the opportunity to meet more Italians. I haven't been here in Florida that long, but I really don't have that many people that I know because of that, except for family. And we're limited there too in Florida. So it gives me the opportunity to make friends, whether they're Italian or not, it doesn't matter. I basically grew up here, so I think I'm more catered to American than I am to the Italian. But still, that heritage is what was, instilled in us that, we want to keep going. So, bringing, memories from childhood and stuff and things that have changed, we try to put that back into our lives somehow. And even the kids will look at us and go, really? That's how it was for you? And it's like, yeah. Santa Claus came and it was one gift, not 200 boxes under the tree.
Understood.
Yeah. But, and it's nice that, that we can tell our kids how it was. My mother has stories that are even older, and I look at her and I'm like, okay. Seriously, so it's nice. It's nice that we can meet at the club. And like I said, you interact, and some people have different stories than us and all that stuff. So it's nice. And the Americans like to hear our stories. They think that it's great the way we brought up and all that stuff. Other than that, it's teaching our youngsters our traditional foods.
Sure.
Everybody can make meatballs and sausage for a Sunday dinner. They go to the store now and they buy the frozen meatballs. You get the frozen sausage and you throw it in a jar of sauce. You got spaghetti and meatballs, right? It's not traditional stuff. It's nothing like traditional, right, Carolyn?
That's correct.
Yeah, you have to make the meatballs yourself. You have to put the ingredients in. You have to make the sauce, from scratch, basically. And just when you get the flavor, when you finally eat that, you say, oh my God, this is spaghetti and meatballs. You know what I mean? It's not, this is Italian, right? And now our kids are used to that. So, when they come down and they have that home cooked meal like that, they don't go home handed anymore. They have two big bags of different containers with all the extra food that we cook, so we know that they're going to take it home for the week. So we try to instill that into our kids, especially, like I said, the traditional stuff, which is not just the meatballs and spaghetti, but the cookies, the time spending in making certain traditional cookies. We have, everything that my mother makes is traditional. But we have a special Christmas cookie that we make with figs. And come llamamos? Casadelle. We call them casadelle. Every different city in Italy will have a different name for them. Some of them don't even know what they are. But basically, it takes, some time. And my mother, of course, makes them with her own fresh figs. So we have a tree, and we pick the figs, we dry them, and once they're dried, we put them in the refrigerator. We wait until that Christmas so we can grind them and put the rest of the ingredients in, and we make these cookies. And I just want to show a couple of pictures of my sister trying to teach her daughter and her grandchildren how to make these going forward, when she will be at an age maybe that she won't be able to make them no more.
Right.
So this is a picture of her with her daughter making the dough. I don't know how clear that is.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
Yeah.
And this is the grandchildren. They're got the finished product, and they're putting the egg and the sprinkles on top.
Nice.
But she also has them rolling and cutting the product so that they're learning how it's done. And there's, what do you call it? Like a decoration that you do on top, and you do it with a very thin knife, the point of a thin knife, and you make little cuts so that the fig shows up on the top from the cuts that you do. You can make it in all different designs. Most of the time they're done like in a Christmas tree, so that you have the curves turning, and then you put the egg and the sprinkles, and it looks like a Christmas tree. Now,
Nice.
that was like something big growing up. So, I think it's great that she has the patience and the time that every year she's been doing this since the kids were little. They were like 2, 3 years old, and they'd be in the kitchen helping her. Of course, they go play with the dough after, but at least they were watching and learning. Now they're at a higher age where they are actually doing the product themselves.
Great,
So they feel real proud that they're learning this tradition.
They should. Has anybody else come to this tonight hungry?
Whenever you're with us, you're never going to go home hungry.
No, never. No.
That's awesome.
And of course, Peter's been many times to our house when we have our traditional Christmas Eve dinner, right, Peter? 7
fishes.
7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bring my appetite.
Yep.
Yep, you have to have a good appetite.
So, Carolyn, I think I have a video, I believe, that's you passing down how to make some pasta. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick.
Yes.
I have a lot of photos here, so we'll see how I do. I think I got it.
The kids love making the pasta. They just love it. So there they are. They're fighting.
It is fun
to
to make.
Yeah, there it goes. And so they're fun to make fettuccine. That's what they're making. There's the fettuccine hanging on the microwave in the back. See the pasta hanging on the back?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there they go.
Look ours.
So they had a great day. They asked me one day if I
Yeah,
would
era una fotografia degli
how to make
essentials.
meatballs. And I was shocked that they wanted to learn how to make meatballs. Then they said, "Can we make homemade pasta?" And I said, "You can." And of course, Maria Rose is calling it sauce, but I call it gravy. So there's always a debate on whether it's sauce.
Gravy goes on top of meat.
So, to me, it's gravy.
That's good.
I taught them how to make the gravy and the meatballs, and there they are making their pasta.
Nice.
Is that cute or what? They're 14 years old, by the way. They made me laugh. They were like so funny.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So some good teaching going on. I think I've got a few more photos. You may have sent another. Let's see if I can find it real quick. There's one.
Well, I'll tell you what those are gnocchi. Do you know what gnocchi? Those are gnocchi.
Gnocchi,
They
sì,
are
sì.
potato dumplings, and you put them in the gravy. They're wonderful. I love them. Peter, you've had gnocchis, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
delicious.
Yeah.
Se devo mangiare noi.
Now, those to me, those are, and I know I've had those. So, I mean, I'm from New York originally, so
Right. So you've had
none of this is all that foreign to me. But it's been a while now. For my Polish friends, they would be somewhat similar to pierogies, correct?
no. A ravioli would be closer to a pierogi.
Ravioli.
Okay,
A ravioli would be right.
Semplice.
Pierogi, yeah, that's like a stuffed little pasta.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
that would be more like a ravioli where we take the dough and you put the ricotta cheese and you press the dough. That's more like a pierogi.
And I got people saying
These are
it's sauce, not gravy.
Somebody's, they're arguing. Yeah, it's gravy. If you're from Philly, it's gravy. If you're from New York, I have no idea. What is it in New York, Peter? Do you know?
It's sauce.
It's
I'm not
sauce.
gonna take the fifth.
That's good. Yeah, since I called it a pierogi already.
It's gravy in our house in New York.
Is it really? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Gina calls it gravy. It's gravy.
That's great.
I wanted to interrupt for a second and show you the San Joseph picture.
Do it.
I don't know how clear that is.
It's pretty clear. It's all
It's pretty
food.
clear.
Yeah, all the food.
That's basically our altar. Here's another that might be a little close up.
Yes.
But you can see all the figurines and stuff that we have up there. And there's the bread cross.
There's the bread cross, yes.
I don't think I have one, but actually I do, but we're probably not going to do a lot of pictures, right? I was going to show you one with the Zeppelis.
You can show us anything you want.
Oh yeah, show us.
I can't see. I can't see where it is.
Okay, it's sauce from Boston and Sicily. Well, I'm from Abruzzi, and it's gravy. And
yeah, I don't have the picture of the Zeppelis, but
sorry.
those are our, things that we that are traditional for San Joseph. And then we have the fava bean soup with the homemade, almost like not a linguine. What is it? Yeah, a linguine. So you make the linguinis and then you put them in that soup, and it kind of like absorbs some of that soup, and that's our traditional St. Joseph pasta.
Nice.
And I see somebody's asking, do we have a St. Joseph table every year? Yes, we do.
Yes.
We have it on the third Tuesday in March.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. So obviously right now you're kind of in a holding pattern as we wait for things to get back to more of a typical normal for all of us. So
right.
if somebody's wasn't aware that the organization is in Osceola County, why don't you spell out how they can connect with you to find out when things are going to be rescheduling face-to-face? Why don't you let somebody know, in case they hear this now or later, how they can connect with you?
Of course. Well, they can always call my number, which is 407-892-4266, or go on our beautiful website, sonsofitaly-osceola.org. That's what it is. And we keep that up to date as much as, right now, like you said, we're a little stagnant right now.
Of course.
We keep it up to date. We have three major functions a year that we do, and I have to tell you, we all know about the Cinderella Closet, but we do not know that Mr. Peter was the one that picked the name for Cinderella's Closet.
Really?
Right, Peter? You did.
And Gina made the logo.
And Gina made the logo.
Was hard work. Yeah.
Awesome. So why don't we, we're on that right now. I know we talked about that the last time we spoke, and personally, I hope we do this again very soon. By the way, I'm having a great time. So Peter or Carolyn or anybody, why don't you tell us a little bit about Cinderella's Closet? I know it's changed right now because of the situation going on, but for the future, because it's going to happen again, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, what I was going to tell you how we started, but I'll go back into that another time. But what we do is we ask for donations of evening gowns, prom dresses, uh, not bridal dresses, but bridesmaids dresses. And so far, uh, every year, both years, we've done it 2 years in a row. We've collected 120 gowns that were given to us. And then we have we had a beautiful luncheon, and we sell tickets, of course, for the luncheon. And we have sweet little models that are from the high school model the gowns, and we actually auction these gowns off. When we auction them off, everybody knows they're not going to get the gown because it's being donated to a high school senior for the prom. But the money that we raise from the auction, we give Osceola County High School seniors scholarships. Last year we raised $6,000. The year before we raised $3,000. In March we have this function, but next March we won't have it because we canceled it because
Sure.
they didn't have the prom this year. So it honestly started because I was cleaning my closet and I said, "Oh, I have these beautiful gowns that I wore one time, and what should I do with them?" And then I just kind of went off the wall with it, and that's what it came out with. Peter helped me every step of the way. Peter and my daughter with the artwork and the name, and Peter helped me write my speeches. So Peter's been very much involved in it all along.
Well, and that's one of the things I love about it too that we didn't really talk about. It's just the kind of creativity around the events. Like you created that, but now it's replicable. They can do it anywhere and lodges anywhere.
Right.
And it's a great way to get together. It's a great creative way to raise money for scholarships and to provide these dresses for girls who otherwise might not be able to attend prom for want of the clothing. But I think that's also indicative too of another reason to get involved. Scholarships are a big part of it as well. There are national scholarships. There are scholarships for students, children of members who are on their way to college, and they're not insignificant scholarships. And I think when you look at the national level too, and Mom, you could speak to that, but the national level of Sons of Italy too is very well connected and it's very active, and it all ladders up with lodges in many, many states. And there's a national organization as well that provides a monthly magazine that's incredibly well done with great content. I mean, there's everything from recipes and book reviews to learning about Italy, to learning about the Italian American experience, history from Ellis Island all the way straightforward. Famous Italian Americans, some you didn't know. And there's a gala event every year that's very high end that there are awards and very well-known nominees and people who are given awards who show up to actually accept them. And it gives you an idea of the clout this organization has. And so there's an added sense of pride and awareness of being Italian American and a sense of what a big family it is. We start to see it's from, we know about, there's the great baseball players and the great artists and the great musicians and stuff like that. But then you hear about the generals and the politicians and the scientists and all this stuff that are part of the Italian American community.
Right.
And there's a lot of pride there. So it's there's a lot of value added that to us is just irreplaceable. I mean, there's nowhere else we're going to get that kind of content, again, because we don't live in an Italian neighborhood the way you might have, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So, and to circle it back, Mom, I think the event like Cinderellas Closet is indicative of like what can happen. It's not just the meetings, it's not just a social event. It's like super creative stuff that's fun, great way to get together, but also doing it for a purpose, helping on the local level and on the broader level as well. So there's just tons of reasons to get involved.
Well said.
Yes.
Very well.
Actually, Tampa Lodge is doing a Cinderella Closet in May. I'm very excited about it. So it's the first lodge that branched off from it. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and I think there isn't any question. I think we all know this, and I won't stay on the COVID stuff at all. But I think inspired ideas that make a real impact, that make a positive impact in organizations and people's lives and in generations. I think those things, they outlive bumps in the road, such as we are certainly dealing with now. So look forward to hearing about the next one. What's that, Peter?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's the fact. I think when it's inspired, it matters. I think when it's inspired, it changes lives and it touches generations. So, anything else, Maria Rosa and Franca, you'd like to share tonight?
Buonasera.
Yeah.
No
Good
bonus.
night.
Well, I'm having fun. I'm not sure. I don't want to end this. So,
Keep going then.
there we go. So here we kind of touched on this. So again, we mentioned how somebody can connect with you. So what about somebody who might move into Florida or Osceola County and has maybe they have some teenagers, maybe they have some kids in their 20s. How does that all fit in with your organization these days?
Well, right now we are sponsoring junior members from the ages 14 to 18, because at 18 you become a regular member.
Right.
So we would like to have the younger people in there to keep this going, of course. And when we have one of our functions, such as like we have a horse race and a car race, and they're very, very, very cute. You'll have to film them next time we do them. And we have the kids come in and they help us serve and they get all excited and they just get involved in it and they love it. Just like these little girls I was showing how to make the pasta, you know. They just love doing these things. They want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of it. They teach Italian at the Harmony School, which is nice. Our organization gave Italian books to the school, the center, the one that's near Tupperware, the one that's in Tupperware, what's it called? Osceola School for the Arts.
Performing arts, right?
Yes, we gave them Italian books, and hopefully we're going to give some to Harmony, so that these kids really, they enjoy getting involved. I'd like to do some cooking lessons at the school or at the senior center or community center when we have a meeting. It'd be a lot of fun to get these children learning how to do what we learned as kids.
Well, I hope you'll allow us to come and video that for sure.
Yes.
Take one for the team, folks.
Take one for the team.
Do the taste testing.
I'm telling you. Well, you still got some people commenting. I think the food has got people going a little bit.
The food's the issue. Where's the meal that the kids finished making that day?
Let me look. Yeah, I'll find it.
They made chicken parmesan. They made a fettuccine, but not Alfredo. That's what they want to learn next, Alfredo. I made meatballs and gravy.
There it is.
There it is. That's their food. That's what they cooked. And let me say, they loved it. They loved it. There's one little one said, "Oh my God, I can't eat another bite, but I can't stop eating." So I thought that was kind of cute.
They did a good job.
They did a good job.
It looks, I can almost smell it from here, right?
I can't smell it's not the jaw stuff.
I'm telling you. We've got to upgrade our technology so we can enjoy these things through the internet somehow. I don't know. Well, anybody else have anything? I know we're having a blast here at a half hour, but is there anything else anybody would like to say that shares about the organization? I know we talked a lot about it, but anything last you'd like to say to somebody who might be considering joining?
Well, I just want to point out too, on the topic of the young members and junior members too, like this is an age of digital community, right? And for this young generation, I know from my work, teenagers today spend on average 7 hours a day on digital media outside of anything used for school, 7 hours a day. So think back to when we were teenagers, when we spent 0 hours a day on digital media because there was none. What would you cut out of your day to come up with 7 hours to devote to this? So think of how many opportunities these kids are not having to connect like this in person. Here's a great way for them to connect in person. They can come, it's very family oriented. What do you see with the food, with making food, with other things like this, all these events? It's fun. It's just a great way to do in-person community, in-person connection. And I think it's got a tremendous, tremendous value right now. And Mom, if you could speak to, for people out there who, I would say, look, if you're Italian or Italian American, why are you not doing this? If you're married to someone who's Italian, you can be a member, correct, Mom? Can you speak to that? Like, who can join? Who is this for?
Well, everyone can join. You could be a regular member if you are married to an Italian. If you're not born Italian, married to an Italian, adopted by an Italian, you may be a regular member. But we have also social membership, and for those people who love everything Italian, and they want to be a part of this, and we love having them too. So we would love anyone that wants to join and help us. I mean, really, that's what it is. It's helping us. It's helping us make every function that we do a success. And know this: when we have a function, everyone that comes to these functions, and there are hundreds of people that come to, at least 100 to each one. Let's put it that way. We had 150 at the Cinderella, but each one of us, we consider them our family when they come out to us. That's how we look at it. Mm. They're welcome to join. We want them to join, but if they just want to come and eat, we want that too.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a great organization. I've been a member for 35 years. Peter, you have to be about 10 years now, close to 10 years.
Yeah.
Carolyn, that means that you joined when you were 5.
I was 5 and a half.
Junior member.
There you go. Well said. Well, I guess we should probably unfortunately call it a night, huh?
Okay. Yes, unfortunately, because this was great. You were terrific, Franca. Buonanotte.
Buonasera, buonanotte. No, ahora.
Buonanotte for me. That means I'm going.
Buonanotte for you. Okay. Buonasera for me.
Buonasera for you, yeah. So when you're not going to bed until like 11 o'clock, you have to say buonasera. But if you
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Keith. I so enjoyed this. It's wonderful. Thank you.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice meeting you, Peter.
Nice meeting you too.
I have to say, it's not a big surprise that this was fun tonight. I pretty much figured that it was going to be in the first 1 minute we talked online before it went live.
That must have been when I said hi.
Exactly. I'm going to guess Maria Rosa and Franca, you're from New York though, before Florida, correct?
Boston.
Wow. What do I know? Well, I'm missing it on all levels tonight.
Boston. And we lived in a neighborhood with no Italians. Really? So every Saturday and Sunday, where do you think we went? We went into Boston in the North End so we could get our Italian.
There you go. So does that mean you're a Tom Brady fan?
Of course. Of course. No matter what he's done, what he does, I don't care. He's my man.
There you go. You need to go visit in Tampa.
There's nothing but Patriots and Red Sox.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Not a bad choice, right?
Yeah.
So I want to thank all of you, certainly for being a part of this tonight. I know we all live busy lives, but to be honest with you, it's very inspiring to hear people who have such a deep-seated love for their heritage and for the nation that you're part of and that you bring so much to. So we thank you for all that you shared tonight, all of you, Peter, Maria Rosa, and Franca, certainly Carolyn. It's an honor to be able to speak to all of you tonight. Very much.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to say your website real quick if I can. Again, sonsofitaly-osceola.org. Certainly reach out to this wonderful organization if you have any interest whatsoever. And if you would just like to learn more, I know I want to be at the first event that you have when we get past the COVID scenario. So again, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Again,
Good night.
Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with Peter, Carolyn, Maria Rosa, and Franca. Together, we're making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.